Death is one of the few things that unites us all. It doesn't matter how old you are, where you're from, how much money you have, what religion or culture you connect with, or even if you're a nice person. We all die, and we all suffer when those we love die. It's not something the average person thinks about too much or talks about because, well, it's all seen as a bit morbid and depressing. But in my opinion, it doesn't have to be. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me and my work, my name is Olivia Hyde and I am a singer-songwriter from Huddersfield who also makes music videos. My first solo single, An Open Letter to Death, and its music video tell the story of how I was forced to acknowledge my own mortality and that of my loved ones and all those around me. After my beloved dad died, my family, we all fell apart, each in our unique but equally destructive way. We coped in ways that not only didn't make it any better, it actively made it worse. And our story, far from unique. But I eventually realised that it's this fragility of our lives here on earth that make it so beautiful, that gives us that push we need to really live and not just exist. So controversially, I made friends with death, heartless that he is. I've invited you here today because we, that's me and my filmmaking partner, Andre Whitbourne, want to make a music video / short film that tells the story of somebody who is grieving in this really dark, horrible way. And eventually they work up the courage to look death in the eye, and that is what ultimately transforms them. And once they do, they realise he's not the enemy. Without him, life would have no meaning. So what ultimately I'm going for with this video is bleak, creepy fairy tale for grown-ups. And if the pledge campaign is successful, death will be played by none other than veteran actor Clive Russell, who is probably most famous for playing Blackfish Tully in Game of Thrones. So those of you who are familiar with mine and Andre's work to date will know that we're used to doing things on a shoestring. When we made Blood and Rust during lockdown on a budget of 20 quid, being a prime example. We're used to having to beg, borrow and steal just to finish a project. But this story is just too important to us to approach in that way. It's the retelling of not just the most painful and profound experience of my life, but one that mirrors countless other people's experience. We want to do it right. And for that, we need great equipment, we need great costumes, we need great props, and above all, we need a fantastic cast and crew. Also, in my personal experience, the grief process is terrifyingly dark. So I want to, as director, do this my way, and I've got no intention of sugarcoating it for the masses. So what do you get in return for your pledge? So my full solo album isn't going to be out until next year. But what I've done for this pledge campaign is create a limited edition EP. There will only be 1,000 copies of this ever in existence, of 5 of the finished tracks, including the single, and 2 bonus tracks that won't be on the full album when it's released next year. There's also a t-shirt, a lyric sheet, handwritten thank you notes. You can get tickets to the first official screening of the music video. But best of all, in my opinion, you get the behind the scenes pass. So upon pledging, you'll get to see Clive Russell screen test as Death. You'll get to see the auditions of the successful cast members. You'll see the behind the scenes photos of the sets that I've been building in our cellar. You'll also get to see our little mini-series we made called Recce Time with Bungle, which basically is us scouting for locations, and we called it that because we always take our dog. And you'll also get footage from the rehearsals. So have a gander at everything that we've got on offer, and I will see you behind the scenes. This project really does feel like a lifetime in the making for me. Despite the obviously difficult subject matter for someone such as myself, I feel like all of the videos I've made have led me to this point, and that it will be our best film yet. But I know that that journey will be all the sweeter with your support. So thank you for taking the time to watch the video.